Good evening, everyone. I hope you've all had a great day and that you've been looking forward to hearing chapter 3 today. So it's day 3, which means it's chapter 3. And before I read chapter 3, I want us just to refresh our minds, recap what's happened so far. So in chapter 1, we have been introduced to the main character. The main character is a female. She's a teen. She's living with her parents, her Jamaican parents, and her brother. In that chapter, we explored how the two different cultures, Jamaican and the British culture, how it influences how the children grow up and how they see themselves. In chapter 2, we have the second narrator, and he is from Nigeria. He's living in the UK, and he's not really happy with his life at the moment. He's in need of a lot of things, such as just maybe stability, his own family, and just to be sorted. Anyway, moving on. So chapter 3, let's start that. Enjoy, guys. Parking as close as I could to the entrance, I speedily walked into the superstore, wrapped up in my thick woolen scarf and grey long trainer boots, and my hair was in a big afro puff. Pushing the trolley just past the entrance, I almost walked into the new, tall, dark security. I immediately apologized as he stepped aside, allowing me to pass. Annoyingly, my specs continued to steam, so I had to stop and clear it. At that moment, I heard a familiar voice call out to me, "Shanice!" Quickly, I put back on my glasses and was pleasantly surprised to see my old neighbour from the old estate. Though some years had passed, she still looked very fresh and youthful. She wore a black and white tracksuit and had her long natural hair tied back. Conscious of how casually dressed she was, she felt the need to state that she was just coming from the gym, but I thought she looked great. I did, however, think to myself, why the heck is she going to the gym? Not giving it any thought that it could purely be related to maintain her health. For me, as a fluffy girl who was always dieting, I knew the gym is very beneficial to me. Unfortunately, I was just too cheap and too lazy to commit myself. I've always been like a yo-yo. One day my weight is up and the next it's down. More so, it was usually the former. Known as fatty boom booms amongst my family and friends, my target has always been to stay on the thicker, thinner side. To you, that's size 14, 16. But at the same time, I wouldn't stress too much if I gained a pound or 5. Growing up with the most brutally honest family, they always kept me grounded by saying how it is. There's no care in the world if they hurt you or not, as long as it was off their chest. Mother would usually ask for favors, and if I showed any sign of reluctance, then she would use my weight as an incentive. Her most common phrase being, "Go and get it now, you know say you want to lose weight," in which I couldn't do anything else but crack up with her as I stomped up the stairs. Despite this slight verbal abuse I have received all my life, I always knew my family were coming from a good place. This was just their last resort. They tried everything else, Dad brought a cross trainer, which we used for the first 2 weeks. Then we started to put dry clothes on it to dry. Then we bought a bike. Same old story, once again, followed by a trampoline, a skipping rope, exercise DVDs, and the list goes on. Fortunately, I was always praised for my brains and how nice looking I was. Often Mum would say, "She pretty even though she's so fat," or "What a pretty fat girl," as if it was unusual to see such a combination. No matter the size of my label, no one could ever tell me that I wasn't beautiful. Most of the women in my family faced the same size challenges as me, but we're all stunners. Beautiful different shades of smooth brown velvety skin, thick lips and even thicker hips attached to firm round butts that you could sit on, which was becoming the in thing, might I say. And what was so great is that we didn't have to purchase any of them. God had blessed us greatly. We were true African intelligent queens, bubbling with confidence. We didn't need the media to tell us how good we looked. We would toot our own horns and big up each other wherever we went. Going out to parties, I often sympathized with those mager girls, or those who had bums as flat as ironing boards, as they tried to bust a dance to the bashment whilst looking down at me, the fluffy chick. Not knowing that nothing or no one could make me question my beauty. Gently interrupted by a customer who was interested in the television we stood beside, we cut our conversation short, and so we promised to visit one another, knowing that none of us had the time to do so. Hurriedly, I went on my way, trying to make it back home before the rain began. Walking around, I could see the shelves were filling up with red sparkly Christmas wrapping paper and a variety of Christmas cards. I thought to myself, really? Isn't this a bit early? But then I got a feeling of excitement as I knew that my birthday was also around the corner too. Within half an hour, I was walking back to my car. I looked to the grey heavy clouds, trying to time it when it will finally release its tears. Carelessly, I flung all the bags except the one with the bananas and eggs into the car boot and gently placed the delicate products at the top. At that precise moment, my phone began to vibrate, and so I answered it. Damn it, I had to go back and get some chicken gravy granules and browning. Stomping my thick tree trunk legs back towards the store, I cursed my parents under my breath, something that I would never dream of doing in front of them. Rushing back in, I felt a pair of eyes focused on me from the security, which forced me into explaining that I had forgotten something. We both laughed as I continued walking briskly down the busy aisle. Out of his sight, I thought to myself, he's kind of cute. And there you have it, guys. That's chapter 3. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you will join me tomorrow again to hear chapter 4. Have a great night. Be blessed. Bye.